What's up and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After. This is season 4, episode 10, and the title of this episode is Sparks Will Fly. Starting off with Ashley and Jay. So Ashley says that she is disgusted by Jay's actions and doesn't care to be around him. While packing his things, she hears a car, and when she heads downstairs, it's Jay. He comes in and just has a seat instead of collecting his things and leaving. Ashley goes off on Jay, even going as far as to say that she hopes that he rots in hell and dies. And while Ashley is going off on Jay, he says, "Whose fault is that?" Which completely sets Ashley off even more. When she pushes him to make him get out, he grabs her arm and her friend then intervenes. When Jay gets outside, the producer says, "So what happened?" Jay replies, "It just happened." He's making excuses for his actions, which shows just how immature he is. I mean, he is only 20 years old and has a father that in no way, shape, or form was a good example of a man. So Ashley goes outside and tells him to get off her property and that she hopes he rots in hell in Jamaica. And when she goes back inside, she proceeds to call the police, saying that he's an illegal immigrant and she wants him removed from her home. Let's move on to Colt and Larissa. So Larissa is on her way to meet with her attorney, and Debbie says that Colt wanted her to drive Larissa. Debbie says she's still mad at Larissa and it's difficult to try and get along with her because she doesn't treat her son good. On the way there, Debbie says to Larissa, "So what do you think will happen today?" Larissa replies, "I will talk to Adam." Basically, I took that as she didn't want to talk to Debbie and she doesn't want Debbie in her business because it's like, do you really care? Larissa says it's hard to talk to Debbie right now because she sees her as an enemy. When she meets with her attorney, she tells him what happened the night she was arrested for the second time, and he fair warns her that her previous arrest and record could affect her this time. She can either be deported or sentenced to up to 6 months in jail. Adam ends the visit telling Larissa he will reach out to her after her arraignment. Let's go back to Elizabeth and Andre. So tonight is the night that Andre's dad will be meeting Elizabeth's family for the first time. Elizabeth says that she's excited but worried because Andre has been feeding his dad's head with negative things about her family. Elizabeth's father says even though him and Andre have had their issues, he really wants to roll out the red carpet, go all out, and welcome Andre's dad to his home. When Andre and his father arrive, Elizabeth's family is very welcoming and has a full spread of food for him. And while they're eating, Andre says to Elizabeth's dad, he honestly didn't expect this kind of behavior from him and he was expecting him to be cold. Her father responds, "It's not about us tonight, but about the families coming together and about his father being in America." Andre translates this over to his father. Now listen, Andre's dad, this is what he says to his son. "I know you. I know you're kind of a hothead. You have a character that's sort of aggressive." He goes on to say, when there's a disagreement, Andre has to do his best to let it go. He is advising his son to be more softer and tolerant. Elizabeth's father says, talking to Andre's dad, he can't understand Andre as a person because his father is totally different. Like they have totally different personalities. And I think that we can all agree on that. That man is just really sweet, wisdom. I don't understand where Andre got his personality from. I don't know what his mom is like, but his dad is just a kind, loving, seems like a really nice guy. So they end the night by doing fireworks, and Andre, this dummy is going to say it's amazing that they got so prepared for his dad's arrival and welcomed him, but it's awkward for him because they've never done stuff like that for him. Listen, like providing for him financially, providing shelter. I mean, is that not enough? Like they haven't done anything for you. They've made sure you and Elizabeth both have been good by providing you with shelter. You had to pay no rent and you're complaining about them not having having a full spread of food for you or some fireworks when you first came into America. Like, this dude is so ungrateful. I just can't. Moving on to Chantal and Pedro. So Chantal has now been in the DR for a few days, and she says that it's been nothing but a disaster. She adds that she really thought about going back to Atlanta, but there's no way that she's going back without talking to Pedro about what OUTED told her. Pedro invited Chantal to meet up with his friends and sister at a bar, but she doesn't feel comfortable going alone, so she's going to bring OUTED with her for support. When she walks in, old girl that was swinging from Pedro's hips, her whole little mood changed. You could tell as soon as Chantal walked in the building. Now, Chantal is welcomed by some of his friends, and when Pedro greets her, he tries to kiss her on the lips, but she gives him the cheek. Pedro tells the camera crew that tonight is a test for Chantal to see if she can get along with his friends and his sister. He adds that he is not happy to see OUTED show up with Chantal. Nicole says that she wasn't expecting to see Chantal and says that she's not interested in having a relationship with Chantal. Pedro's little side piece says that they were all surprised by Chantal's arrival, and her showing up made the environment uncomfortable. All of Pedro's friends, including his little side piece, are inquiring about their marital business. Pedro then shifts the conversation to the blow up that he had with her family. Nicole then jumps in, and when their exchange begins to get elevated, Nicole, out of spite, then decides to show Chantal the video of Pedro and his side chick grinding on him. While she's showing her this, she's saying, "You deserve this." Chantal then gets up from the table and says it's time for her to go. When his friends tell Pedro to go after his wife, now the friends got to tell Pedro to go after his wife. He didn't get up on his own, okay? The side piece says when Pedro's getting ready to get up, the little side chicken, she's gonna say, "No, don't go," pulling Pedro's arm. When Chantal walks out shortly after, Pedro comes out and Chantal's walking slow. It's like she wants him to come after her, and talk to her. So then his friends and sister end up walking out as well. They're following them, not giving them privacy. They're a married couple. So Pedro lies, saying Chantal doesn't want to talk to him. He tells his friends this. His friend encourages him to do the right thing and tells Pedro he's in the wrong. After being coached, Pedro finally agrees to go back to the hotel to talk privately with his wife. But once they get back to the hotel, Chantal then says that she doesn't want to talk about it that night. She just wants to go to sleep. Moving on, let's go on to Nicole and Azan. They've been missing for like 2 to 3 episodes, so I was excited to see what in the world is going on with these two, okay? Guess Azan is still ditching her. So moving on to these two, it's been a couple of weeks since the trip to Grenada was canceled. Nicole says that she's a little disappointed because she was excited for it, adding that all she wanted was to see him and get that spark back. Azan lied. We all know this man has been lying to her, okay? Azan lied and told this girl that he had a family emergency, and she knows he's lying, okay? That's the thing. She knows this man is lying and that's not the truth, but she's trying to save face. So moving on, they haven't even video chatted since he canceled the trip. So she decides to FaceTime him to show him her purple hair. When he answers, he says he likes her hair. I was really surprised. Now, he could be lying about that since he lied about everything else. Their whole conversation is just very awkward, okay? It doesn't seem like he really wanted to talk to her. And Nicole goes on to say that, are things getting better with that family emergency that you had? And Azan starts making up stuff and says, yeah, things are getting better now. So Nicole tells Azan that she's glad that she got some of the money back from her canceled trip because now she can use that to go to Morocco. Azan just says, yeah. So it's like, come on. This dude ain't trying to see you, sweetie. He's not trying to see you. So Nicole says that she's pretty certain the next time she goes to Morocco that her and Azan are getting married. At one point, Nicole says that her mom is really worried about May's education. But this is my thing. shouldn't she be the one that's worried about her daughter's education? Shouldn't that be her main priority? I just don't understand what's wrong with this girl, and I don't even want to get hot, so I'm moving on. Let's move on to Ashley and Jay. Ashley never did his adjustment of status, so that would make Jay being in the U.S. illegal. When the police shows up, he starts to question Jay, while the other officer goes to speak with Ashley. The officer has Jay back inside the house, and he tells him to have a seat on the couch. Jay starts crying. Now, come on, don't start crying now, buddy, because you done messed up big time. Now you want to cry. Now you're scared because the police has been called. This is the thing. You haven't been doing right by this young lady. Yes, he's young. Yes, she knew what she was getting herself into because she chose him. Okay. But at the same token, it doesn't take away the fact that he came over here and he's not doing right by her. Okay. He's cheating and he's doing things that he shouldn't do. He's messing up his own opportunity. So, it's like, what do you expect? Don't start crying now. Now you want to cry. Get the piece of tissue and, you're wiping your little tear ducts and stuff. You crying. Nobody don't feel bad for that. I care about people, and I almost kind of got caught up in that little tear. And I said, no, he's wrong. Okay, so don't nobody want to see them fake tears because he shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. So while he's in there wiping his little tear ducts and crying with the tissues and being dramatic, he then calls Ashley's friend over to talk to him. And Jay says that he doesn't understand why she called the cops on him. Destiny says that she's really disappointed and pissed off towards Jay. She adds that he has no idea what it takes to be a family man because he's a baby. She tells Jay she thinks that he got off pretty easy. And I agree. He did. He got off pretty easy because you've been doing dirt. You've been doing wrong. What goes around comes back around. Moving on to Colt and Larissa. So Debbie goes up to Larissa's room to inquire about the arraignment. And she knocks. Larissa doesn't answer. Then she ends up just walking in. Larissa tells her that she doesn't want to talk. Debbie leaves to go pick up Colt from work. And they want to know what the outcome was about the arraignment. Colt and Debbie both play innocent victims in all of this, like they're so concerned when they really could care less. Colt loves picking with Larissa, and Debbie wants her gone anyway because she already said out of her mouth she wants her to be deported. So Colt tells his mother that he is not happy, and his mother says that he has to end things. So she's really speaking that into her son's ear, which I definitely believed at that point they needed to end things as well because it just was toxic and it just wasn't good. Let's move on to Russ and Pal. So Pal's enjoying motherhood, but she says that she misses her family and her friends. She FaceTimes Juan the troublemaker to show him the baby. Then shortly after, Russ walks in the room. Juan wants to be the godfather of their baby, but I don't understand why he would want to because previously when she told him that she wanted to have children by Russ, he was very negative about it, and he doesn't even get along with Russ. So I don't understand why would you want to be a godfather to their child. Juan goes as far as to say that she can always get a divorce and that there are single mothers out there, which is very rude and disrespectful. I don't really understand how you could be friends with someone who disrespects your spouse, regardless to if they don't like them or not. That's just having respect for the person that you care about. Let's move on to Ashley and Jay. So Jay says that he has mixed emotions. He says that he's sad he messed up and mad she called the cops. Ashley says that she will be contacting immigration in the morning to get Jay deported. Jay says that he can find someone else and get married. It's simple. So he keeps saying that he's sorry, but then says things shortly after that reveals that he's just sorry he got caught. He's not sorry because this is his second time doing this. So he's sorry that he got caught. Simple as that. And then that type of attitude, there's no remorse in what he did. He could care less. That's in him. Let's move on to Elizabeth and Andre. So Andre says that it's two-faced, that he didn't receive a warm welcome, but his father did. Later, they discuss their birth plan and who they want to be in the room. Andre says that he doesn't want any of her family members in the room. He says in his country, the only person that's allowed in the room is the husband. He gives Elizabeth an ultimatum. Does she either want him in the room or her mother? Andre is picking at her, telling her to call the shots and to have a backbone. And he's really annoying. I just don't see what she's attracted to in this man. Let's move on to Chantal and Pedro. Pedro says that he feels embarrassed by his actions and that it won't happen again. Now, this is what he's saying after he got caught. Chantal says at this point, she doesn't trust him. Pedro agrees to do whatever Chantal wants, even if it's to leave the DR. Chantal says that she's waiting on the right opportunity to question him about what OUTED told her. Let's go back to Cole and Larissa. So Cole is still trying to get information about her trial and tells her, this is my room and my house, because Larissa told him that she didn't want him in the room to get out. Colt goes online to check the outcome of the trial, and he believes it was dismissed. So he's thinking because it was dismissed and because he paid for this lawyer that things should just go back to normal. She should be back to open to talking to him. But it doesn't work like that. I think the damage has already been done at this point, and both parties in this situation are exhausted and drained and just over it. Let's go back to Ashley and Jay. So Ashley says that she has so much proof that proves Jay didn't come here for love. Ashley gets very emotional talking to her friend and says that she wishes she would have been smarter, adding that what kind of example would she be to take him back and condone that kind of behavior. So I need to hear your guys' thoughts by leaving all your comments in the comment section down below on 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After. This is season 4. Episode 10. Again, the title of this episode was Sparks Will Fly. Give this video a big thumbs up, letting me know what you thought about the episode. Don't forget to share this video with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiance. Subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified on the next time that I make an upload. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.